Hello and welcome back. In the last video, as I explained, we now need to make a search log for our PowerPoint presentation. So what we're going to do is begin by setting that up. So if you open up Microsoft Word and select a blank document, first thing you're going to do is go to Page Layout, change the orientation to Landscape, because that way we've got more room to type into our table than if it was Portrait. Now, the next thing we're going to do is at the top here, if I just double click at the very top, I'm going to type in my name into the header. It's good practice. And if I press the tab key a couple of times, if I just do that again, press the tab key, say twice in this situation, I'm going to type in presentation search log. There we go, and I'm going to close the header and footer. So now I've just got to insert my table. And same thing again, as we did with the spreadsheet activity, we made a search log there. We're going to go to insert table, and we've got number of columns is 5, and the number of rows we're going to have going down is 10. So there's my table. So what we need to do now is type in the column headings. So I've got date, I've got website, I've got information selected, and in the next one I've got copyright needed, and then comment. So that's that ready, and I can highlight the top row, and I can just go to home, center align it, make the titles bold and a bit bigger. So then, if I have a look at the document I've already made, because that's just a brief introduction of how to actually set it up, so that takes no time at all. Now what you're going to do, obviously you need to put the date. That's the easy part. You just type in the date. The website URL, what you're going to do is you are now going to be searching for images. So whether you do this with Bing, Google, Lycos is up to you. But I've used Google here. So what I've done is I've said I searched using Google Images for. This is important because you want to show the examiner your search criteria. So I searched for Youth Club. So I put that in inverted commas or speech marks, and then I say I found an image on, and what I would do here, I've actually searched for a sofa, so I've done that step. Now I've selected the image that I want, which is this one, and this is what happens when you click on the image. So first of all, I need to make sure I save it, and it is important to save it. So right click, save image as, but you should have a folder ready for those images. And I can't stress enough, it is important that you do save them for later rather than just copying and pasting them in, because that way you've got them ready for when you do the presentation is done. Now, here, if I just take the web address from here, rather than this whole link, because that just takes up too much space in the table, I have a look here, and obviously then it's www.houseandyou.com. So what I would do, if I go into my original search here for where I did the sofa, which is this one, I found the website here, and I just typed it in. I found an image at www.houseandyou.co.uk. The information selected column, what I need to do here is I need to mention what I've selected. So I've selected a picture of a sofa, that's what I've done, and I'm going to be using it in my presentation. So we're showing the examiner that we've taken an image and we've sort of planned what we're going to do with it later. So it's going to be used in my presentation. That's important. Now the copyright needed here, as compared with the spreadsheet task, with the spreadsheet we were looking at prices, and we knew that we could say, okay, well, prices found on the internet aren't subject to copyright. However, images can be. Now many people take images, so they go out with a camera, take the picture, or they create it in Photoshop, for example, and they copyright it so that other people can't make money from it. Now, in this case, because we're doing an educational project, we're doing this in school, we're not making money from it, we don't actually have to get permission to do it, because we're not stealing any money essentially from the person who made the image. So we need to make a bit of a comment about that in here, and you can just copy and paste that down into all of the other rows in that particular column. Now the comment here, this is the trickier bit. We have to talk about the reliability of where we got the information from. Now in the spreadsheet, it's pretty similar to what we've got here with the presentation. If we got it from an official website, if we got it from an online retailer such as Amazon, Play, DFS, Argos, for example, they're going to be reliable because the images they use are used to promote the product, so they will be reliable. So you need to take that into account. Now, there are some examples. If I look through here, I've taken this image from an official youth club website, it was actually a .org website, which means it's from the government. It's kind of a charity. So that was a reliable image. It was taken at a real youth club, so that's fine too. So you need to make sure that your comment talks about the reliability of the image, but it is quite tricky for the images. So have a think about it, and if you are struggling, absolutely just speak to your teacher, and we can try and sort that out. So that's the next thing you need to do, is the search log. And then once you've done that, we can move on to the presentation and how to make it. And this is where it's important that you've saved your images. And I'll speak to you about that in the next video.